Hello, this is the TradeSide Forex market preview and international economic data roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, June 24th and ending Sunday, June 29th, Friday, 2018. This will be the final, we're done with the first half of the year, the final Forex report for the quarter, the first half of the year. Friday is the end of it. Interesting. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. Didn't do a lot this week, came back down a little bit late on Friday, but overall it was pretty narrow. We did all right this week, but it wasn't super exciting. Let's go through the major pairs, and then we'll look at the intra-week action, talk about the data that's to come this week ahead, and then get a game plan for what's coming as we're entering what will probably be the summer doldrums at some point in time for Forex. So again, euro dollar, the inverse of the dollar index, nothing special there. Pound dollar didn't do anything. Euro yen didn't do anything. Aussie dollar literally didn't do anything. Flat for the week. Pound yen also flat for the week. It was really a flat week. Pound Swiss, look at that. Nothing there at all. And the New Zealand dollar didn't do much. All right, 30-minute candles, high to low for the week on the euro dollar. About 160 pips, not anything major. And most of the days were fairly uneventful. Pound dollar, high to low for the week is about 200 pips. But there was some movement there, and we did have some gains. So it wasn't a wasted week. It just wasn't super exciting. And we didn't go half size yet. Usually at some point, Forex slows down for the summer enough because the global situation, everybody goes on vacations. And once it does, then we go half size. But we haven't seen enough of a slowdown with some of these moves to really do that. But we'll talk about more about what that means here in a few minutes. All right. So in terms of economic data coming out in the week ahead, let's go to the week ahead, which is next week. Sunday, Bank of Japan summary of opinions, not a big deal. We can go that. Monday, German IFO business climate, U.S. new home sales on Monday, SPPI. Almost no data on Sunday and Monday around the world. It's amazing. Going into Tuesday, core CPI out of Japan, high street lending out of the UK, 10-year and 30-year bond auctions out of the UK, the CBI realized sales out of the UK. Here in the U.S., early Tuesday morning, we've got the S&P Housing Price Index, consumer confidence, Richmond Manufacturing Index. We got trade balance out of New Zealand Tuesday night, business confidence out of New Zealand the same time, or same night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're already to Wednesday at this point. We really haven't done anything in terms of data. Switzerland's Credit Suisse economic expectations, private loans and M3 money supply to Europe, FPC statement out of the UK, durable goods and goods trade balance out of the US, preliminary wholesale inventories here in the US. Got the CB leading index in China, pending home sales here in the U.S., crude oil inventories, that's the weekly number. Rate announcement out of New Zealand Wednesday night at 5 p.m. Retail sales out of Japan. German consumer climate, UK's nationwide HPI, German preliminary CPI, Spanish flash CPI, Italian preliminary CPI, EU economic summit, Italian 10-year bond auction. We got the U.S. final GDP. It's the second or the third. No, it's the final look at the GDP for the second quarter or the first quarter. Sorry, unemployment claims. That's the weekly number. The GDP number is not going to be a big deal. Natty gas an hour into the market here in the U.S. Building consensus out of New Zealand. Consumer confidence out of the U.K. Tokyo core CPI out of Japan. Unemployment rate. Preliminary industrial production out of the Japan. New home sales out of Australia, along with private sector credit. Consumer confidence out of Japan, housing starts out of Japan, German retail sales and German import prices out of Europe, along with an Italian bank holiday going into Friday. French consumer spending and their CPI. Current account out of the UK, along with their final GDP, net lending to individuals, index of services, M4 money supply, mortgage approvals, etc. CPI flash estimate out of Europe. Economic summit out of Europe. We've got Canada's GDP, RMPI, and IPPI. And then here in the U.S. to wrap up the week, core PCE price index, personal income and spending, Chicago PMI, revised University of Michigan sentiment. Canada's got their business outlook survey, and China's got their manufacturing PMI data. So, I mean, there's a decent amount of data. None of it's huge this week. Here's the thing to remember. We're ending the quarter, so it's going to be a light session on Friday around the world. And then next week, the week after that, is 4th of July here in the U.S. We have a holiday on Wednesday, which is the worst day to have it. People are going to be on vacation all week. So hopefully we get something done this week. But again, if we start to see the ranges and the action really slow down, we got a half size, usually somewhere around this time of year in July for a month or two, and then get back to it after that. But we'll let you know when we see it in the Twitter feed. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading weekend for it.